benefits for that tax break, that tax bill went to the richest 1%, 81% of the benefits, and that bill will encourage more companies to shut down in Erie, Erie, Pennsylvania, and Ashtabula, Ohio, or in Pittsburgh, or in Cleveland, and move overseas. They were willing to do that, and as we asked them over and over, Senator Hatch and others on the Finance Committee, let's pass CHIP, they just couldn't get around to it. They made a choice. They made a choice to do tax cuts for the rich. They made a choice to let CHIP expire. They made a choice not to bring a bipartisan bill passed out of the Finance Committee to the floor. They made a choice to spend their time and energy on other things. They have a choice today. I'm calling on my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, and I think Senator Stabenow will make a motion to do this, to pass a permanent extension of CHIP with no strings attached. It's a policy we agree on, protecting health insurance for 9 million children. It's an added bonus of $6 billion in savings to the federal government, because CHIP, frankly, doesn't cost very much, because children don't get sick very often and don't require a lot of medical care. Some do, and that's the whole point of CHIP, so that healthy children can stay healthy and get regular checkups, and with an occasional ear infection, go to the family doctor when the ear infection in its first days, rather than the emergency room after the child might experience intense pain or even later in life hearing loss. In some cases, it's there for those like Crystal Lett in Columbus, Ohio, whom we've talked about at Nationwide Children. I'm sorry, Crystal's the mother, Noble Lett, the son, sorry. And it's a policy, it doesn't just make moral sense, it makes financial sense. It's time for Republican leaders to stop holding CHIP hostage and families hostage to their failed budget process. I know they broke out a plan the other day as their political talking point to try to use it to pass a bill that really wasn't all that good a bill. But these aren't bargaining chips. They're kids. 209, my state, Mr. President, the state the presiding officer grew up in, 209,000 Ohio kids. 209,000 Ohio kids, 9 million kids nationwide, roughly, but a number not much lower than that in Michigan, not much higher than that in Pennsylvania. The three of our states, 600,000 kids. 600,000 kids will benefit, are right now getting insurance through CHIP. But, Mr. President, remember, these are kids whose parents generally work, making $8, $10, $12 an hour. They're not kids whose parents, unfortunately, have jobs that pay insurance. You know, they're not congressmen and senators and congressmen and women and senators who have really good health insurance, but for some reason think it's okay to deny it from others, from working families. Again, these are working families. These are children whose parents have jobs but don't have insurance. Think about these families. Think about the stress they're facing. Think about the letters I get and Senator Casey gets and the stories we hear from Ohio and Pennsylvania families. Josh from Cleveland said, quote, CHIP helped me arrange for my family to get the health coverage they needed while I look for a new job. As a parent, that peace of mind, knowing my family is secure, getting the medical help they need, should something God forbid arise, is priceless. Now, you know, his letter that he sent to us really underscores the fact that all kinds of parents over the Christmas season, over the holiday season, and these are low-income, hard-working parents, in most cases, $8, $10, $12 an hour. So they're not buying a lot of stuff for their kids at Christmas anyway. They're trying to figure out how this is all going to work in the Christmas season. But they're anxious. They've got to worry about whether or not they're going to have insurance come the new year while Congress passed the tax cut that Senator Casey talked about. Tiffany from Cleveland wrote, my son relied on CHIP. Without CHIP, we wouldn't have been able to afford to get him intensive speech therapy for his diagnosis. Without this speech therapy, he wouldn't be able to speak today. Listen to this. CHIP gave him a voice. CHIP gave him a voice. Then he writes, Tiffany writes, or his mother writes, now I want to use my own voice to give other kids like him a chance. Linda from Johnstown, Ohio, small town near Newark outside of Columbus. She wrote to me about her grandchildren. The CHIP program is vital to my daughter and grandchild. My daughter's a hardworking, tax-paying 26-year-old single mother to a 4-year-old son. She works over 40 hours each week as a chef. They qualify for CHIP. It's a tremendous help. Without CHIP, she'd be forced to find other ways to make ends meet, perhaps even quit working so that she could even qualify for full public assistance.